is in for a big treat in this matchup.
The Vodafone Giants come into this series averaging almost 4 goals a game today. They have been on a mission. But this is going to be an own goal as Archie gets credit. Who does this go off of?
That was Tox. Tox has waited at the back. I was just like, 3, 2, 1, I'll have. Absolutely does Zamway off the line. And you said that they had a 4 goals per game average. That won't count positively for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, Tox getting a little anxious because he's the one who's kind of the odd man out here. It's, there's a drop down by his Tox some way. Now Stako with a save by Casio.
What a save by Casio. Just whipping out from the crossbar. Manages to get the block. Already explosive.
Stake and Thumbway that have combined to score 21 goals today. That's just in, I believe, just 6 games. That is remarkable.
They absolutely blew out Libertas earlier. It was 15-1. And they're brutal. They're adding in goals now.
That's Stake getting one here off the feed from Thumbway. It's just you throw the ball up to the backboard. That guy's got to get there, and Casio's just left staring up the ball. He never sees Thumbway coming in to get the bump. And as a result, 1-1. Giants get it right back. But so far, Giants have scored 2 goals. Just only one of them counts.
Stacks, I'd love to get your opinion. Who do you think wins this? Because if we had a poll, I think this would be incredibly close. I think that maybe on paper, you'd go Giants. But in my heart, I'm really feeling Top Blokes.
I've got Giants in this one. And for the simple reason that I've seen all these players do some really special things. Archie less so because 5 of these players have spent a considerable amount of time in the rival series. But I've seen Thumbway just take over not just series, but multiple series over the course of a day or a couple of weekends. And the things that he is capable of doing to kind of drag Giants across the finish line is superhuman at times.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the players that Top Bloke's going to need to look out for. Every single player on Giants is going to be a terrifying prospect to come up against, and especially when they link up. You said that between 2 of the players on Giants, they had 21 goals today already. I only see that number getting higher.
Yeah, and in fact, it has gotten higher. Now they're 22. Stake and Thumbway, 11 goals each so far today. Plenty more to come, surely, over the course of this series. Maybe one here from Toxo, blocked away by Archie. There's Thumbway, always whiffed on it. That's a rare miscue. But Top Blokes not able to get downfield. They had to kind of navigate through a little bit of traffic and debris, and then this is pinched in front. But they're not on the same page there. Double commit leads to a lack of an offensive opportunity, and Thumbway has to kind of cut it midfield just to slow down Top Blokes.
The really good thing that Giants were doing during that offense were the boost steals. You could see that it forced Casio to go up so awkwardly in the net. It meant that Archie had to literally wait on a boost pad. It forces the opposition in Top Blokes to not be comfortable in whatever position they need to be in. It forces them to be perfect, and you can't expect them to be, but that shot from Flame certainly is.
This is great. Casio again, throw it up to the backboard. Nobody's able to get up there. And that's textbook, right? You've only got one defender, and he has to stay home. Throw it up to the backboard. It's basically an open net from there. And Flame picked it out perfectly.
Archie with number 2 as well. Got the first goal in that exact same place, but, helped on a little bit by Tox. This time, though, doesn't get the mid boost, but can still send it back behind Zamway in the net. 2 clear now for Top Blokes.
Just something happens to teams when they play on this stream. Defense breaks down. We're seeing lots of shootouts so far today. Here's Flame looking to add yet another. Can they keep this downpour going? No. Stake will collect, and Tox has a clear downfield. Can he follow this up? No, he's going to be beaten out by Casio, but that's not really control from Top Blokes. And you wonder how many times can they really afford to just boom this ball downfield before the Giants punish them for it. There is Thumbway around Casio, but Casio does good to get back onto this. Yet again, Archie throwing one downfield. He can follow this up himself and scrambling across. Stake, but he had to cover a lot of ground, just a lot of air in this case, to get to that ball. When Top Blokes seem to have kind of taken control here in game one. They haven't allowed as many opportunities as Giants are accustomed to having. Only 5 shots on goal for a team that's averaging well into the double digits, just over 10.
Yeah, this game's certainly an anomaly, I feel, but Top Blokes will happily take that because they have had a lot of offense. Whenever they've had a chance, they've done the very cliche thing of just scoring it, lol. As Tox is going to make sure that whilst he wants to keep that play going, the clock will just be gently running down. And Top Blokes, too clear and looking to keep it that way.
Someway going to throw this downfield off a pinch, and now it is just desperation time for the Vodafone Giants trying to scratch and claw their way back into game one. Pass back to Tox. This has to be on the money. It was, but Archie makes the save, and Top Blokes are going to take the opening game.
Very, very even, I feel. In terms of score, shots, saves, everything, there were no standout players. Between both teams, everyone was around the same mark. 2 or 3 shots each, 2 or 3 saves each, and I think that's something that we're going to be seeing going through the series as well, where I don't think we're going to be seeing a standout player. Normally that would be, I would say, Zamway for Vodafone Giants and Archie for Top Blokes. And I think they're going to cancel each other out to an extent. We just saw over on the Rocket League stream, which everybody should go and check out as well. It's in a squad stream at the moment. Make sure you check them out too. We saw that it was Liquid versus Vitality. And that was essentially Alpha versus Speed. I don't think we're going to get the same kind of game here, though.
I think that this time around, you're going to see... I mean, Archie is, I think, the maybe the biggest surprise of 2020, especially in Europe.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's just... The way he just burst onto the scene over the spring and now into the summer, like, if somebody has a good event or 2 good events, you go, okay, I mean, sure, just nobody knows what to expect out of this guy. Now they know, so the magic's going to wear off. He is not having that sophomore slump, but Tox will get one here 10 seconds into game number 2, and again, it's the Giants scoring early. Either team has been just right around the goal off the opening kickoff in the first couple of games.
Stake with a really good interception there as well. He's done that a couple of times. He is preventing the play going downfield too far, preventing the through ball from going to another Top Blokes player. And this time managed to set up Tox for a fantastic read, to be honest, right in the center of the net.
Casio on his way back can get this out of harm's way for the moment, so too can Flame. Casio called on again as Archie was a little late getting back. Now Thamway over to Stake, and he'll slam it home from the doorstep.
Another interception by one of the Vodafone Giants players. Not Stake this time. Instead, it was Zamway, and Stake can finish it off right in front of the goal face. First 2 goals, again going to Giants, but it doesn't lead to a draw.
How can they hold on to this lead? They did not lead at any point in game 1, largely due to the own goal. Cox can't stop Archie here, and we've been singing his praises all year long, and Archie comes through yet again.
Archie being the resident 1v1 player on this Top Bloke squad as well. He has been consistently at the top of the table for these guys. He has had the highest average number of shots, goals, and saves throughout the regionals. He has been absolutely incredible for Top Blokes and proving that he might not even need a teammate to set him up for goals. He can do it himself sometimes.
Had 6 goals over the first couple of series for Top Blokes. He's already halfway to that mark in less than a game and a half here. Stake. And he recover for this. No, he did get a full tank of boost, but could do nothing with it, and he may be powerless to watch. But he does get back in time as Casio couldn't get the second touch he was looking for. Archie taken out of the play for a moment, so he respawns. And he's got that clear out, and more importantly, around Stake. But this is going to find Thumbway. Going to try to slow play, and Casio had just enough time to recover.
Casio with a really good interception. He managed to get one touch as Stake gets the second of his own. Enough for Casio. Straight onto Stake. Tox with that setup makes it the double, if not triple tap from the backboard. 2 clear now for Vodafone Giants, and looking to continue to pile on that pressure and pad their stats.
It is so weird to see the backboard so wide open in Europe, of all regions. This is Devo's home. Archie gonna set up Flame backboard, but this time nobody could follow up the play, and I think it just goes to show how much pressure is being put on teams. It's just clear after clear, and players are being forced to expend a lot of boost and move laterally so much. Nobody home here, and Stake will add his 4th goal of the series.
Tox getting one challenge into another, completely outspeeding Casio as well from his own goal line, making Vodafone Giants clear by 3 now. Stacks, I think you're going to have to keep updating your number of how many goals they have on average per game, because they are wanting to make that skyrocket.
Yeah, well, they still got a little bit of work to do to offset the 1 ball they put up in game number 1. This is right out in front for Tox to come intercept. And he keeps this in the zone, not allowing Casio to clear, but Flame does get by Thumbway. That's big for top Blokes. It lets them kind of reset, and maybe they can start the second half with a clean slate here. Get back into game 2. Maybe get one step away from getting into the playoffs. So Tox, well, that's not good spacing from the Giants' defense, and Archie almost made him pay for it.
One thing that I've always been very impressed with Top Blokes is, firstly, they're a relatively new roster. They formed right before RLCS, and now they are taking it to these massive teams, and also they rarely flounder. We see a lot of these new teams have issues wherein they don't know who's going for what. There's still those teething problems, double commits, or, you know, just those small little niggling issues. With Top Blokes, they very, very rarely double commit. They rarely get 2 people in the same incorrect place, and it's something that I think has set them apart from a lot of the new, not pickup teams, but newer squads.
Here goes Archie trying to lead his team back into game 2. Casio will have to take over now as Flame took out Stake, and he's got to rotate back. Archie opts for boost, Flame opts for ball, and then Stake just pinches this deep into the Top Blokes corner again, and the Giants look like they're just going to control the second half of game 2, the same way Top Blokes had a stranglehold on the opening game.
Count the amount of times that there's an interception from Vodafone Giants on Top Blokes when they try and work out of their own half. It's honestly almost every single time there is a player just lurking on a wall, waiting to poach that ball away from them and completely shut down any momentum they work towards the orange half.
Thumbway for Tox, dropping the hammer. No, that's Archie with the save. Knockout blow postponed, but only for a moment. It seems like a matter of time before the Vodafone Giants add 1 more to their tally. Top Blokes do break downfield with a quick counterattack, but it seems to be too little too late. They still trail by 3 goals, and Thumbway just dances through the air.
Thumbway has been so impressive this game. He's made almost every single play happen when it comes down to it. He has been getting himself involved as and when he is needed, but equally he's not made it an issue when he has tried to get involved, when he's not wanted. And Flame, he gets the goal that he wanted, 2-4 now, but this game is very much over.
Yeah, it's just a garbage time goal there. At least you get to see the ball go into the net. It's his 2nd goal of the series. And who knows what kind of mental effect that can have for a player. Just, all right, hey, scored 1. Great. Let's start over in game 3 and turn things back around in our favor.
I absolutely love the phrase garbage time. I really like it. We don't have, as far as I know, we don't have an equivalent over in Europe. I'm not a very sporty person, so maybe everyone's shouting at me right now. but I love the phrase garbage time. 'Cause it's like, yeah, it's
I
exactly
believe they
that.
call it looking up Arsenal's kickoff time. Anyways, Vodafone Giants have tied up this series 4-2 in game number 2. And, you know, about what we expected, right? Sure, the games weren't necessarily, like, super close, but they seemed to be evenly matched.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing to take away, is that both games ultimately have ended with a 2-goal differential. It's been 1-3 and then 4-2. And I think every player at least is getting involved in every single match. We're not seeing any particularly weak links. It is just very good Rocket League that is catching each team out. But game number 3 is afoot. Top Blokes wanting to make sure they continue to get a foothold on this series, because Giants here, this is where they excel. This is where they can run away with the series against a lot of teams in Europe.
So who's going to take charge of the series? Both teams have had a fairly convincing opening game or opening win. He's Thumbway. The corner for himself, and he can't set up Steak. Flame may have an opportunity, but he's beaten out by Steak. Thumbway still way downfield. Great pass back to Steak, and his shot blocked away by Casio.
Great block there by Casio. State getting a really nasty shot on, especially when it was a 1v1 situation. Casio dealt well, waited near post, looked to see what State had to offer, and then could counter it immaculately.
Casio stops Steak from getting downfield, though Tox has to come back with Thumbway taken out of the play. Now Thumbway just pops this out. Tox had to go through him to try and play any further. Right now, Giants look a little disoriented at the back, but Thumbway takes over, as he so often does. The leader of this Giant squad gets them out of trouble, and now Tox will score here, all because Thumbway was finally able to break them out.
Again, Tox intercepting, and this time not going for the pass, instead going for the quick wall recovery. Jumps off, top bins. You can't ask much more of him. Tox right now is very much playing like a world champ.
Archie out towards midfield. He is able to control himself. That's a great line of stuffing. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up in front. I couldn't just leave it there. Archie blocked by Steak as Tox out to the corner. Thumbway is right there. Can he get this down center? No. Casio is up to the task defensively as Top Blokes, they found themselves outscored now 5-2 over the past couple of games here, trying to get their bearings back under them here. Tox is gonna find the way to drop this in. He threads the needle to hit the mark.
What a pass from Zamway as well. Flame can just about get to it, but his nose just sends it out the path of Archie. Tox once again showing off the absolute class that he has got.
Giants continue to march closer to the playoffs. 2 wins away, and they seem to be well in control of this third round matchup.
Giants right now are genuinely, they're just exuding confidence. Everything they do is what they've made this game what they want it to be, and Top Blokes are very in danger of just letting that happen. They're putting up a fight, but they're slowly being overtaken. You know that scene in The Incredibles when Mr. Incredible gets covered in this like black ball gunk goo things, and like they sort of slowly inflate and cover him?
Yes.
That's Giants. Giants are the black ball goo.
Unlike Turtle, I'm a man of culture. I get your references. There's Casio adding one in here, and that's exactly what the Top Blokes needed. With still plenty of time to go here, they're back into this game.
Yeah, bringing 1 goal back. It's never been a team that is fully out at any point. There's always been some fight left, and Top Blokes, they've got fight in absolute gallons.
Flame forces this through. Casio going the wrong way, but we'll get back to Archie. Got to be well defended by the Giants, and it is, at least for the moment. Tox not able to get too far downfield as the teams will just play a little bit of volleyball. Back and forth. Good drop down pass for Archie. This intended to set up Casio. Little late getting there, and his shot's going to be sent away by Tox.
Seeing a lot of passes coming in from Flame, but then there's nobody actually in the center to receive them. I think Archie and Cassio aren't quite in the exact same mindset, but Archie getting a good demo there on Tox. Read well off the backboard by Stake. I'd like to see more central play, I think, by the second man on Top Blokes. Receive the passes. If they don't work, go for the backboard.
Looked like Flame was trying to catch that for a flip reset. A little bit off the mark. One I'm sure he'd like to have back. Stake going crossfield, easily blocked away. Here's Cassio for Archie. Crossfield, far down and in.
I was worried that Cassio's boost miss would completely take him out of this and he couldn't reach, but he still does. Great boost management to get the touch. And Archie with a devastating bar down finish. Under a minute left. We're drawing once again.
And Archie draws level with Stake now, 4 goals apiece in this series. It has not been Thumbway taking over the scoring for the Vodafone Giants. Still yet to score in this series, and he may need to because Cassio adds one here and he got some help down below.
What a bump! Flame going off that backboard and then immediately targeting the keeper. Cassio knows what to do. He knows shoot at the net and we're ahead, lads. And that is exactly what has happened. Fantastic all-round team play by Top Blokes.
Top Blokes looked like they were just dead in the water after the first couple of minutes of this game. They have come back with 3 unanswered goals, closing in on stealing Game 3 and taking a 2-1 series lead. Big save by Stake to keep the Giants alive. All 3 converge. Rebound is just off the mark, and Tox can't keep this out. Cassio adds yet another.
Cassio's had a couple of slow shots, and this is finally a time where actually it makes sense. He sends it below Tox, who can get the backside of his card to it. It just bounces off the crossbar regardless. 2 clear now by Top Blokes. They've wrestled control of this game back. I really felt like they might have been somewhat down and waiting for game number 4, but no. Top Blokes, they keep fighting, and they are going to win this 3rd one.
And they will be 1 win away. We were talking so much about the Giants, how they were going to be closing in on a top 8 berth. They are going to have to keep on fighting unless they can turn this series around, as Top Blokes have taken one right out from under the Giants' noses, and they take a 2-1 lead in the series.
Potentially one the Giants can look back at and think, maybe we should have shut that one out. I don't even think the Giants needed to change much of their gameplay. I don't think they did going through that game. They didn't become complacent. They didn't become particularly lazy on any plays. Top Blokes just turned it on. Cassio sitting at the top of the scoreboard with over 700 points, securing a hat-trick for his team with only 5 shots as well. Very, very impressive stat line for Cassio coming out of game number 3. And game 4 now is where Top Blokes could close it out. And despite going through in 5 series to get to this point, they could now do it in 3.
Yeah, it's amazing how things change from week to week, how a team can look so far down in the dumps and then turn things around. And now suddenly they look like the best team in Europe. And right now, Top Blokes doesn't look like they have the best defense, but then again, they are up against a team that is averaging so many per game. These 2 teams do come in only allowing a little more than a goal per game. They have been lights out defensively, granted, against some questionable competition, but now Thumbway finally adds his first goal of the series, and it comes off the kickoff, and he adds a little style to it.
That was unbelievable. Was it unnecessary? No, it's not unnecessary. It was needed. That was needed flashiness. Off the kickoff, rushing in. Such an early jump. Such a perfect flip reset. Within 3 seconds, Thumbway showing his style.
Archie will try to start the counterattack for Top Blokes. He'll get a little help from Thumbway as this is dumped deep into the Giants' own end. And Cassio will score because he's Cassio and you're not.
Thumbway with a bit of an awkward back touch. Stake did fancy going towards the net and then rotating towards the ball. He was the last man back, so not the worst shout ever. But in hindsight, Casio, man, he's on the offensive. You've got to batten down the hatches and see how much you can keep away.
4 goals, 4 assists. For all the praise we can give Archie, Casio has come alive in the mid-stage of this series. And he's got one to the backboard here, but Thamwe, big clear downfield to get the Giants out of jail for the moment. Now Cox, boy, full boost and the ball. And he continues to barrel through, but Casio there, great supporting defense as top Blokes. They kind of dodged a bullet there. I mean, Giants were barreling downfield and were plenty boosted up. One big challenge just kills off the entire attack, and everybody goes back to square one.
The double demo, that could have opened up the net for Vodafone Giants, but instead gets caught in the midfield. And I think every now and then we see Giants get a little bit wary. It's a side of Giants that we very rarely see. But then they've got their third man not quite going in as far as I think they would do if they were winning, which is a weird sort of way that they've decided to play this. And when they're losing, they've started to hold back a little bit. And I feel like we need to see unrelenting, relentless Giants here.
That was not a good clear by Flame, but the Giants couldn't make him pay for it, at least not initially. Still having a tough time actually clearing the zone as Fox and Steak both go up for this, and they both burned a ton of boost to do so. And I don't think Tox was able to beat Archie to that boost steal, so should be able to see top Blokes get out of the zone now as Flame will get around Tox. There's a big opportunity now for top Blokes. They can take over and take a lead, really put the pressure on Vodafone Giants.
That was really great positioning from Archie a second ago, where he knew he wasn't the first man there. Oh, but he is the first man to that ball. An absolutely pixel-perfect pass from Casio. Look at that. And Archie's there to receive. Top bin, son. Send it home.
We have seen a masterclass in passing over the past couple of matches we've seen on here. Noli's pass that hit Scrub Kill in the previous series, even though in a losing effort from Guild Esports, was fantastic. Marky said the best pass he's ever seen. And that's saying something considering who Marky has played with and against.
Oh.
And look at the bump that opens things up for Casio again.
Goal number 3. Once again, another masterclass from that side wall. Flame had only Tox in his vision. Get it in the middle and then get him out of the middle. 2 goals clear. Top Blokes, they are putting the stranglehold pressure on now.
Thamwe over Casio as the Giants gonna have to scramble now. They have half a game to keep their hopes of going 3-0 alive. Casio shot on, and that's gonna be sent away by Thamwe. And so often we've seen players opt for maybe one pass too many, especially in North America. It's kind of refreshing to see just so many opportunities. Just throw the ball at the net. You never know what'll happen. You may get kind of a sloppy rebound, and boy, we've seen a lot of that. A lot of second and third chance opportunities that top Blokes have been able to cash in on.
I think so long as you send a shot at net and just sort of hope a little bit, and you do have that second man pushing up quite close, or that third man even, if they're close enough, then that is a fantastic strategy, because you're also then meaning that you're burning the boost of your opponent, and you're making sure that they're not able to get into any good position. But Zamway in a great position for that. Can Flame get a goal? Yes, he can. Top Blokes. And Flame clear by 3 now. 4-1 is the scoreline, and they are feeling it.
I believe you have a saying over there, top drawer. Top Blokes are just on fire right now, and they can sense they are that much closer to getting into the top 8 playoffs and being done with the sweat fest and the anxiety that comes with playing in the group stage. Giants, though, are not going to go quietly. Steak can't get to this, so it'll be on to Tox. Out to Thamwe, and just couldn't get any power behind the shot. Here's a chance for Steak, and he just throws the ball at the net, and that time they needed to be a little more creative. Drop down for Tox, and what a save by Archie. Just throw yourself in front, right place, right time. Top Blokes continue to frustrate the Vodafone Giants Thumbway trying to force his way through, and this one just accidentally trickles in.
This game has suddenly opened up, and neither team expected it, to be honest. Tox went in for the nothing bump. That's fine, because Flame just waited on the goal lines, and Wei follows the ball down. And now only 2 goals separate us from Game 5 or Top Blokes going through to playoffs.
Casio just lets that ball go by. Now everybody's going to have to scramble back for Top Blokes. They're able to. Stake can't get to this, and Flame just beat Thumbway to the corner boost, so the task gets even tougher for the Giants. First of all, they're getting taken off the field. Now they're having their boost taken away from them, and now the ball is deep in their own zone and up in the air. They have to expend so much effort and resource just to even get a touch. Stake out to Tox. Over to Thumbway. It's a good ball, but there is Archie as Thumbway just took too long to get to that ball, and Top Blokes can punch their ticket into the top 8 playoffs. They are done with the group stage this weekend.
Top Blokes delivering the first loss of regional number 2 onto Giants Gaming. They came through in 3 series. They got to this point in 2, and Top Blokes, that killing punch that they have delivered. Top Blokes, though, they struggled through the first stage. Stage 1 was not kind to them. They had to go through in 5, and now they've gone through in 3. What a squad these guys are forming.
And kind of peaking at the right time, right? I mean, okay, you kind of stumble in backwards through the first half of the regional, but then you come through in the second weekend, and now it is all business, and there isn't a 7-day layoff before you play again. You just got to relax, just kick back, and just go, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck, everybody, as you try to survive through all this. I mean, you're looking down in the standings at teams like Vitality and Liquid and well, not Oxygen, they're not here, but I mean, it's teams that are expected to be up at the top of Europe, and you're just like, yeah, now we're here again. And they seem poised to make yet another run in tomorrow's playoffs.
That was cruel to all of the Oxygen fan out there. I feel bad for him. That is
brutal.
That is a stunning victory for Top Blokes. I felt it in my heart. Didn't know if they could go through with it in the end, but they have proved us so wrong and right. Very, very impressive team. If you guys thought they were impressive and you want to let F. know, make sure that you use the hashtag RLCSX and you at RL Esports on Twitter. We would love to hear what you are thinking. As Top Blokes, they've gone through. Giants Gaming will need to keep playing. Stacks, that was an absolute pleasure. And we're going to be heading over to a quick break. And when we come back, we will have Monkeys versus S2V.